Hey there, I'm Beverly. Let me take you on a journey of self-discovery, heartbreak, and resilience. You see, for years, I felt invisible, stuck in the background of my own life, while my family revolved around someone else. But today, I'm standing in the light, and I want to tell you how I got here. Let's start from the beginning. I'm a 29-year-old painter living in the heart of Baltimore City, chasing my dreams one brushstroke at a time. It sounds like the kind of life people romanticize, bohemian, creative, full of inspiration. But the road here? Oh, it was anything but glamorous. Growing up, I was always just Logan's little sister. My older brother, Logan, was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. He was the football star, the straight-A student, the one everyone in the family beamed about. And me? I was there. I remember one moment so clearly. It still stings. I was in middle school, and after months of pouring my heart into a painting, I won first place at the school art fair. My hands trembled with excitement as I rushed home, my blue ribbon clutched tight. This was huge for me. Maybe, just maybe, Mom would finally see me. I burst through the front door, my smile wide. "Mom, look, I won first place." She barely glanced up from her phone. "That's nice, honey," she murmured. A second later, she perked up. "Only not for me. Did you hear? Logan made the varsity football team. Isn't that incredible?" And just like that, my moment was gone. This was how it always was. Logan this, Logan that. I love my brother, I really do. But living in his shadow? It hurt. It made me question whether I was ever enough. But things are different now. After years of feeling overlooked, I made a choice. I would carve out my own life, far from the expectations that had weighed me down. I moved to Queens, got a tiny but cozy art studio, and started selling my paintings. Little by little, people started recognizing my work. For the first time, I was being seen. And the best part? I found love. Larry. Larry is everything I never knew I needed. Kind, supportive, unwavering. He saw me in a way no one else ever had. Through all the family drama, he stood by me, reminding me that I mattered. "Your mom's going to lose it when she sees you in that dress," Larry said one evening, his eyes full of warmth as we went over wedding plans. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that my wedding day would finally be the moment my mother put me first. But deep down, a familiar fear gnawed at me. So, I picked up the phone.
"Hey, Mom.
Just checking to make sure you have the wedding date saved for next month." Silence. A long, heavy silence. Then she sighed.
Oh, sweetie about that.
Logan is having the grand opening for his new shop that day. I promised I'd be there to support him. My heart dropped. But, Mom, it's my wedding day. Can't you come to both? Another pause. Then, in that same dismissive tone I had heard my whole life, she said, "You know how important this is for your brother. I'm sure you understand." Understand? Understand? I swallowed the lump in my throat. For years, I had told myself the same thing. It's okay. Logan comes first, I get it. But this time, I couldn't push my feelings aside. This time, I wouldn't be invisible. So I took a deep breath, and for the first time, I chose me. "You know what, Mom? I do understand. And that's exactly why I won't keep waiting for you to show up for me." And with that, I let go. My wedding is happening, with or without her. My life is moving forward, and I refuse to dim my light any longer. I am done chasing approval, because I finally see myself. And that's enough. I didn't understand. Not at all. After I hung up the phone, I just sat there, frozen, numb, staring blankly at the wall. The world outside kept moving, but inside, I felt stuck, like something had cracked inside me. An hour passed. Maybe more. Larry found me like that, curled up on the couch, lost in a daze. His warm brown eyes filled with concern as he knelt beside me. "Beverly, what's wrong?" he asked softly. I opened my mouth, but the words felt too heavy. When they finally came, they were barely above a whisper. "She's not coming, Larry. My own mother, she's going to Logan's shop opening instead." The words hung between us, raw and painful. I expected anger, maybe outrage, But Larry just pulled me into his arms, holding me like he was trying to shield me from the hurt. "Beverly, listen to me," he murmured, his voice steady, grounding me. "She's the one missing out. We're going to have a beautiful day, with or without her." I nodded, trying to believe him, trying to hold onto the love and warmth in his words. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that I would never be enough for her. That no matter how much I achieved, how much love I gave, I would always be second place. As I buried my face in Larry's shoulder, a question crept into my mind like an unwelcome guest. Would I always be the overlooked daughter? The wedding day arrived and everything was perfect, or at least it should have been. The venue was stunning. The guests were buzzing with excitement, and Larry looked at me like I was his whole world. But as I stood in front of the mirror, dressed in white, my veil draping elegantly over my shoulders, a hollow feeling settled deep in my chest. Natalie, my best friend since childhood, stepped behind me, adjusting the delicate lace. "Beverly," she breathed, her voice thick with emotion, "you look absolutely stunning. Larry's going to lose it when he sees you." I forced a smile, but it didn't quite reach my eyes. "Thanks, Natalie." She caught the hesitation in my voice immediately. Her fingers gently squeezed mine. "I know," she whispered. "I know you wish she was here." I swallowed hard. She didn't even try, Natalie. She didn't even pretend it mattered. Natalie held my gaze in the mirror, her expression filled with quiet understanding. "I won't tell you it doesn't hurt. But don't let her absence ruin this for you. This day isn't about her. It's about you and Larry." I nodded, inhaling deeply. She was right. And yet, as I walked down the aisle, as I looked into Larry's loving eyes, as I said my vows, my heart still felt the weight of that empty seat in the front row. Larry must have sensed it. He squeezed my hand just before the officiant spoke the words that changed everything. "I now pronounce you husband and wife." As Larry's lips met mine, I let myself melt into the moment. This was real. This was my future. No more waiting for people who refused to see me. I was done chasing. Months passed in a blur of paintbrushes and late nights in my Queen studio. My art career took off in ways I had only dreamed of. A prestigious gallery invited me to showcase my work, and my paintings started selling faster than I could create them. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was standing in my own light. Larry was ecstatic. "You're killing it, babe," he grinned, spinning me around in the kitchen one evening. "We have to celebrate." And for a while, life felt full. Whole. Like maybe, just maybe, I had finally moved on. Until one evening, when everything came crashing down. I wasn't even looking for it. I was just scrolling through my phone absentmindedly when I saw it. My mother's social media post. There she was, beaming with pride at Logan's shop opening. A week later, another post, celebrating his birthday with the whole family. Then another. And another. A random Friday night dinner. A weekend brunch. A holiday party. Every event. Every time he called. She was there. My jaw clenched as I stared at the photos, my stomach twisting in knots. Larry must have noticed because he placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. "You okay?" His voice was soft but concerned. I turned to him, my hands trembling as I held up my phone. "She's there, Larry." My voice cracked. Every single time. Every single event. No hesitation. No excuses. The floodgates burst. The years of feeling unseen, unheard, unwanted. It all poured out of me. Larry didn't try to stop me. He just listened, holding me tight, letting me grieve the mother I had always wished for but never truly had. And that night, as I let my tears fall freely, I realized something. I will never be the daughter she chooses first. And maybe that's okay. Because I was done waiting to be loved the way I deserved. I had my own life, my own success, my own family with Larry. And that was enough. My hands trembled as I dialed her number. My stomach twisted with nerves, but I had held my tongue for too long. This time, I wasn't going to swallow my feelings. She answered after the second ring, her voice cheerful, as if everything was fine. "Beverly, is everything all right?"
No, Mom.
"It's not." I took a breath, trying to steady my voice, but the anger and hurt bubbled to the surface before I could stop it. I've seen your posts. Every single event, every milestone. You were there for Logan. But you couldn't even show up to my wedding. A pause. Then an exasperated sigh. Oh, honey, don't be so sensitive. Her voice had that familiar edge, the one she used when she thought I was making a big deal out of nothing. You know your brother needs more support with his business. It's not personal. I clenched my jaw, my fingers gripping the phone so tight they ached. And I didn't need support on my wedding day? My voice cracked, years of pain lacing every word. You've always been so independent, Beverly. I thought you'd understand. Understand? Understand what? That no matter how much I achieved, how much I fought for her attention, I'd never be as important as Logan? The realization hit like a punch to the gut. From where I'm standing, it looks like Logan is your golden child, and I'm just an afterthought. Beverly, you're being dramatic.
Dramatic.
That word burned. It was always the same. Whenever I called out the unfairness, whenever I let her see the pain she caused, I was the problem, not her. You know I love you both equally, she continued, but it sounded hollow, rehearsed. I let out a bitter laugh. Really? Because I don't feel loved equally. Not even close. She sighed again, impatient now. Maybe when you have kids of your own, you'll understand. Understand what? How to play favorites. No thanks. Silence. Then, without another word, I hung up. My hands were shaking as I lowered the phone. My chest felt tight, like I had been carrying a weight for so long that I didn't even recognize the strain anymore. Tears burned in my eyes as Larry walked in. He took one look at me and crossed the room in an instant, pulling me into his arms. You didn't deserve that, he murmured against my hair. Your mom's behavior is toxic, Beverly. I exhaled shakily. What am I supposed to do, Larry? She's still my mom. Larry pulled back just enough to meet my eyes, his expression soft but firm. Maybe it's time to create some distance. Focus on your art. On us. You don't need that negativity. He was right. I had spent years waiting for her approval, chasing a love that never felt whole. And for what? I took a deep breath. I'm done. The words felt final. Strong. That night, I blocked my mom and Logan on social media. It wasn't easy. It hurt. But as soon as I did it, I felt lighter, like I had finally stopped dragging chains I was never meant to carry. The next morning, I stepped into my studio, picked up my brush, and for the first time in years, I felt free. 3 years later, life moved fast. My art took off in ways I had never imagined. My paintings were selling faster than I could create them. Galleries reached out to me, collectors wanted my work. I had made a name for myself, on my own. And the best part? Larry and I were expecting our first child. For the first time in my life, I wasn't looking back. I wasn't waiting for my mother to notice me. I had built my own happiness. Then, one afternoon, everything shifted again. The doorbell rang while I was painting in my studio. I wiped my hands on my apron and headed to the door, expecting a package or maybe a neighbor. But when I opened it, I froze. It was my Aunt Julia. She looked anxious, her hands clutching her purse like it was the only thing keeping her steady. "Beverly, sweetie," she said, her voice hesitant. "We need to talk." I frowned. "About what?" She glanced around nervously before stepping inside. We sat down at the kitchen table, and I watched as she fidgeted, a hint of fear in her eyes. "There's something you need to know about Logan and your mother." A cold feeling crept up my spine. "What's going on, Aunt Julia?" She sighed, then looked me straight in the eye. "Logan's business, it's not what it seems. He's been laundering money." I felt my breath hitch. Laundering money? My mother had sacrificed everything. Our relationship, my wedding day, my entire existence in her world for this? For a fraud? I leaned back in my chair, my pulse pounding in my ears. For years, I had told myself that maybe, just maybe, there was some reason my mother always chose Logan. Some justification for why she put him first, time and time again. But there was none. And suddenly, I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't heartbroken. I was done. Larry was right. I didn't need her approval. I didn't need to fight for a place in her life anymore. I had a life, a damn good one. And as I looked down at my growing belly, I made a silent promise. My child would never know what it felt like to be second best. I would love them fully, equally, without conditions. Because I had finally learned what my mother never did. Family isn't about blood, it's about love. And I would make sure mine was nothing like hers. The room felt like it was spinning. My breath hitched, my fingers tightening around the table's edge.
What?
My voice came out in a whisper, barely able to push the word past my lips. How do you know? Aunt Julia hesitated, glancing at the door as if she was afraid someone might hear. Then, in a hushed voice, she said, I overheard your mother on the phone. I blinked, my mind reeling. She's involved, Beverly, Aunt Julia continued, her voice full of regret. They've been using her college fund to finance this whole operation. My stomach twisted. My college fund? My voice cracked. There's more. Her eyes filled with sadness. Remember your wedding day? Your mother wasn't at Logan's shop opening like she said. My heart pounded. She was meeting with some very shady people, setting up new investments. I gripped the arms of my chair as a wave of nausea crashed over me. So she lied. About everything. I had spent months making peace with the fact that she chose Logan's grand opening over my wedding day. It had hurt, but I had told myself I was used to it, used to being second place. But this was so much worse. Aunt Julia reached for my hand, her fingers warm but trembling. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I couldn't keep this from you any longer. She left soon after, giving me space to process the truth. But I just sat there, frozen. I wasn't sure how long I stayed like that, silent, motionless, drowning in the weight of my mother's betrayal. When Larry came home, he found me in the exact same spot, tears silently streaming down my face. His face darkened with concern as he rushed to my side. Beverly, what happened? I opened my mouth, but no words came out. My chest felt so tight it hurt to breathe. Larry knelt beside me, cupping my hands in his. Hey, talk to me. And so, with a shaky voice, I did. I poured out everything. Aunt Julia's confession, the stolen college fund, the fact that my own mother had lied straight to my face. Larry listened, his jaw clenching tighter with every word. By the time I finished, his hands had curled into fists. They've manipulated you for years, he said, his voice low, simmering with anger. You don't deserve this, Beverly. I looked down at my swollen belly, my hands instinctively cradling the growing life inside me.
Torn.
Conflicted. What do we do now? I whispered. Larry stood, pacing the room, his face set with determination. We can't let them get away with this. It's not just about you anymore. We have to think about our child, my child. The thought settled deep inside me. This wasn't just about my own pain anymore. It was about protecting my baby from the toxic cycle that had poisoned my own life. I inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of the decision pressing down on me. We could tip off the authorities anonymously, Larry suggested. Let them investigate. My heart clenched. But that's my family, Larry, I whispered, my voice breaking under the ache of betrayal. Larry knelt in front of me, taking my hands in his. Your family? His eyes softened. The ones who stole from you?
Lied to you?
Prioritized themselves over you for years. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Larry wasn't wrong. My hands trembled as I picked up my phone. This was it. The moment I stopped being a victim and took control of my life. I dialed the number for the local police station, my heart pounding in my ears. A calm voice answered on the other end. Hello, I'd like to report some suspicious financial activity. As I spoke, I felt something shift inside me, like a heavy chain being broken. A lifetime of waiting for my mother to choose me, to love me enough, was over. When I hung up, Larry pulled me into his arms. You did the right thing, Beverly. I'm proud of you. I nodded, my vision blurred with tears. I just hope I can live with what I've done. Larry placed a gentle hand on my stomach, his thumb brushing against my skin. They made their choices, he said softly. You're protecting our family, our future. And as I felt our baby kick for the first time, I knew he was right. It was time to break free. 3 years later, time flew by in a whirlwind of paint, love, and late-night baby cries. My art career continued to soar, my work displayed in galleries across the city. But none of that compared to the moment I held my daughter, Diana, for the first time. She was perfect. Larry beamed beside me, kissing my forehead. "She looks just like you, Beverly." I smiled, lost in Diana's tiny fingers as they curled around mine. I was so focused on her that I barely noticed when Larry turned up the TV in the hospital room. Then the words hit me like a freight train. Breaking news. Local businessman Logan Thompson arrested on charges of fraud and money laundering. My head snapped up. Footage played on the screen. My brother, in handcuffs, being led away by police officers. His face, once so smug, was now pale and stunned. The weight of everything settled deep in my chest. Larry reached for my hand, squeezing gently. "You okay, babes?" I blinked, my mind swirling with too many emotions to name. I don't know. It feels surreal. Just then, my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen.
Mom.
My breath caught. Larry saw the name and met my eyes. "You don't have to answer." I hesitated, staring at the screen as it kept vibrating. This woman, the one who had dismissed me, ignored me, betrayed me, was now calling me. Maybe she wanted to yell. Maybe she wanted to beg. But I didn't owe her anything. Without another thought, I silenced the call. Larry smiled softly. "You really are free now, aren't you?" I looked down at Diana, her tiny chest rising and falling as she slept in my arms. I kissed her forehead, breathing in her warmth. "I am. And for the first time in my life, I truly meant it." I paused before answering. "Beverly, thank God you picked up. It's all a big mistake. You have to help us," my mother begged, her voice shaking. "Help you how?" I asked, already knowing what she would say. "We need money for Logan's bail. And I need a place to stay. They froze all our bank accounts." Anger rose inside me. "Oh, so now you need me? After all these years of acting like I didn't matter?" "Honey, please. I'm your mother. Family helps family." "Family?" I scoffed. "You stole my college fund. You chose Logan's schemes over my wedding day. I'm sorry, Beverly. We can fix this, I promise." I looked over at Diana, sleeping peacefully in her crib.
No, Mom.
"I have my own family to take care of. I can't get involved in your mess. But where will I go? What will I do?" I took a deep breath. Figured out like I had to.
Goodbye, Mom.
I hung up, my hands shaking. Larry pulled me into his arms. "You did the right thing, Beverly," he said softly. "We can't let them drag us back into their problems." 6 years passed in a flash. Diana had grown into a lively little artist, and I was getting ready for my biggest art show yet. As I hung my last painting, Larry walked in with Diana. "Mommy, it's so pretty," Diana said, her eyes full of wonder. I picked her up and kissed her cheek. "Thanks, sweetie. Want to help me name this one?" As Diana thought, Larry showed me his phone. "Look at this." It was a news article. Logan Thompson sentenced to 16 years. Mother struggles to find work after scandal. I felt a strange mix of emotions, not sadness, not satisfaction.
Just something.
"You okay?" Larry asked. I nodded, looking around the gallery.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, I really am. Just then, people started arriving. Art critics, buyers, even some celebrities. Larry gave me a quick kiss. "Go get M, babe. We'll be right here cheering for you." I caught my reflection in a mirror. The insecure, forgotten daughter was gone. In her place stood a strong artist, a loving mother, and a devoted wife. "Ready, Miss Thompson?" my assistant asked with a smile. I squeezed Larry's hand and ruffled Diana's hair. "More than ready. Let's do this." I stepped forward to speak to the crowd. I felt nothing but gratitude for the family I chose and the bright future ahead. The bad parts of my past were behind me. As I started my speech, I knew the best was still to come. "Now, let me ask you a question. If you were in Beverly's place, Would you have told the police about your family's crimes? Or would you have stayed quiet, even after they treated you badly for years? This is a tough choice, choosing between family loyalty and doing the right thing. What would you do? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion could start an interesting discussion. If you liked Beverly's story and want more like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more great stories to life. Thanks for watching.